Hello! In today's video, I'm sharing some fantastic new drugstore makeup that I've been loving and think you will too. I've been testing out a lot of new makeup releases from luxury and high-end to drugstore, and I wanted to do a separate video for these products because I've been so impressed with them. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new, and I'm going to start with the foundation that I have on my face right now, which I probably should have tried before now because it has been out for a couple of months. This is the Revlon Illuminance Skin Caring Foundation. I'm in the shade beige. This is a foundation that combines skincare with makeup and is supposed to help with skin elasticity over time. I was really surprised at how quickly and easily this blended out the first time I used it. I had to look really closely in my mirror to see if it was all blended in because it just happened so quickly. So if you're looking for a medium coverage foundation for quick days, this is a really good one to reach for. Now, I'm sure you could guess by the name that this is going to give you a more radiant, luminous finish, which it does. That can be really flattering, or it can emphasize texture and imperfections if you're not careful, especially in those of us that are over 40 or have more mature skin. This foundation I find to be very flattering. It evens my skin tone, smooths my pores, and blurs while providing that medium coverage, and seems to kind of diffuse my skin. It also wears really well throughout the day. I have combination skin that's pretty normal and can get dry around the perimeter, and I can get some shine and oil break through my T-zone. It is extremely hot here right now. We're having heat warnings. The heat index has gotten up to 120. And even though I get some shine in my T-zone that I need to blot away, it still wears really well throughout the day. Even though this is still a new release, I'm kind of mad at myself for not trying it sooner than I did because this is really pretty. I've seen it retail anywhere from $13 to $16, and it looks and feels high-end to me. Physicians Formula launched a couple of new products, and I'm really surprised with how much I like one of them. This is the Butter Brazilian Brow Lift Brow Gel. So this is a clear brow gel that basically cements your brows into place, and it's in a tube, which is what I love about it so much. Typically, products that hold your brows in place like this so firmly come in a little pot, and you have to take a separate spoolie, scrape it in there, and then apply it. I just am not gonna do that. I don't know what it is, but that's just too much trouble for me. If I have it in a single tube, I'm gonna use it. Now you can see that the spoolie has some bristles on one side and it's kind of flat on the other. I do have to scrape product off right when I take it out because a lot comes out at once. But after I do that, when I comb this through my brows, I almost can't feel that anything is happening because it's not really wet feeling, but I can see it. I can see the shine in my brows. And what I love is that it doesn't wipe off my brow pencil or my brow pen that I applied earlier, because I do always use some kind of brow tinting product. And sometimes products like this will wipe some of that off. This doesn't, and I think it's because of how the teeth are placed, how they're designed. It does have that butter smell. I don't notice it after it's in my brows, but when I tell you my brows are locked in place all day long, so much so that I can feel my brows on my face, the hardness of them, as I start to massage my cleansing balm or cleansing oil makeup remover onto my face at the end of the day. It takes a minute for it to loosen up, and you can almost feel it start to break loose. It's really weird. I've never used a product like this before, mainly because I've never really had one that I've been extremely happy with, but I've been using this almost every day since I got it. It's easy, it works. There's only one item to worry with, and I want to say this was less than $13. What prompted me to go ahead and do this video in the first place was a new launch from Hard Candy. I got the Glosstopia Lip Repair Oils last week. There are 6 shades, and I've just been really impressed with the quality. If you like a good lip oil that's not just a glorified lip gloss, this might be right up your alley. Now, I did see that there was a previous version of this that was out a while back that had hyaluronic acid and castor seed oil. This new release release. Has vitamin E, jojoba oil, and squalane, and just feels so good. It feels like a lip oil should. It's not too thin, but it's not sticky or anything like that. I've really been enjoying wearing them alone or over lip liner. Now earlier I applied the shade Scarlet Bliss over my Kokie Dusty Rose lip liner, and that looked really pretty and of course felt great and nourishing. And before this segment I applied the shade Deep Desire over my lips, and you can see that here. If you're seeing an outer line of pigmentation, that's just how my lips naturally are. No, I don't have my lips tattooed. That's just how they are. This other shade is Berry Divine, and here they are swatched. Deep Desire, Berry Divine, and then Scarlet Bliss here on the bottom. You can see there's not a lot of variation between the shades. They're very sheer. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more pigmentation, especially with there being 6 shades. But for me, that's the only drawback. I say just pick a shade and go with it. I do like the fat, cushy, slanted doe foot applicator. It feels nice. And there is a scent. It's kind of a fruity floral scent. If you're scent averse, it might bother you, but for me, these have been just fine. I have tasted some products lately that have really disgusted me, and I've been liking these a lot. These feel very high quality on my lips, and I think they run around $8, and they're giving Rare Beauty. I think they must have used the same facility. I don't know, but they're cute, they're inexpensive, and they feel good. Let's talk about another new Physicians Formula release. We have the Butter Bronzer Contour Palette. It comes in 2 versions, a light and a dark. We have a matte highlight and then a deeper shade and a lighter shade to use as contour and bronzer. You can also mix the two. Now today I used this deeper shade with a dense brush, so you could see the pigment you get right away and how it blends out. Now I used a less dense brush for the rest of the application on my face. There is a little bit of kick up with these, so I do recommend tapping your brush off before you apply your brush to your face, but if you do that, these blend out really nicely. I used this as my bronzer since it's the lighter of the 2 shades. I do kind of wish they had flipped these around. For me personally, I use less contour than I do bronzer. That just would have made more sense to me. Now this inner highlight is great if you're someone who does highlight using a matte shade on the high points of your face. I don't typically do that, but it is very creamy for those of you that do. I typically use this on my inner corner and on my brow bone. This is just a nice handy palette from Physicians Formula. It does have that butter scent, and I've seen it run anywhere from $13 to $18. I like these little summer all-in-one releases to help give that summer glow. They're great for travel, and I've been enjoying reaching for this, and I do love that there are 2 different versions for different skin tones. Now this new drugstore makeup product has been raved about. It is new, but it's been out for a little bit, and I'm kicking myself for not having gotten it until now because I love it. So this is the L'Oreal Infallible Freshware Soft Matte Blush. I have the shade Confident Pink, and it is stunningly beautiful, and it wears well all day, even through sweat, heat, and humidity, which says a lot. Now this can be extremely pigmented. I went in first with a loosely packed brush on one side of my face, and then on the other I used a soft but denser brush to get more of a pop of color, and really had to kind of tone it down. So this is really versatile, from a soft whisper all the way to a punch of color, and would be great for all skin tones. They do have various shades that are appropriate for all skin tones, which I think is great. This color is a lot of fun, but the formula itself is really flattering, and it wears so well under any condition. And I feel like no matter who you are, no matter your age, no matter where you live, there's always going to be some occasion where you're going to need that no-fail blush that will not budge, will not fade from your cheeks, whether it's an event, some kind of all-day thing, or you're just out in the heat and humidity of the hot summer months. This is that cheek color, and I want to say it runs, yeah, I'm seeing it run anywhere from $13 to $16, and this has just been such a great purchase that I had to share with you, even though everyone else already has. I concur that this is in fact a great find. Now, if you're feeling like the pink that I applied earlier looks a little bit more muted, it's because I peached it up a little bit with the peach from this Catrice Summer Obsessions palette that I already mentioned in a previous video. I've already talked about how much I love this, so I'm not going to reiterate it here. I'll link you to that video in my description box along with everything I'm sharing today, as well as up in a card. But I felt like this eye needed a cheek with more peach to it than this pink, so I wanted to clear that up really quickly before I went further with this video. What I have on my eyelids today took me about 30 seconds. It's a one and done liquid eyeshadow from Lottie London. I don't know how new this is, but it's new to me and I am loving it, and I definitely want more shades. This is the Color Cloud Longwear Matte Liquid Eyeshadow, and the shade that I have is Love and Cocoa. It's a little bit orangey, which I actually don't mind for my blue eyes and for the summertime, but I would like to get a shade that's a little bit more neutral. So all I did today was apply a thin line right above my lash line, basically, and blended it out with an eyeshadow brush. On this eye, I applied it over an eyeshadow primer. On this eye, it's just over my eyelids with nothing on them at all. And I want you to see how it is not creasing or budging. It looks smooth on both lids. Now, it may not be even from eyelid to eyelid, but it's not creasing. These are $6. They're non-drying, they're long-wearing, they're vegan, they're cruelty-free, they have vitamin E, jojoba, and argan oil. Once you blend them out and they're set, they stay put all day and they don't crease. They're just such a thin formula. They give you just such a nice wash of color. I could have applied less and had a more sheer wash of color, but I kind of am liking this today, and I am really liking this formula, and I think a lot of you will too, because I know there's an overabundance of one and done shimmer and metallic liquid shadows, but there aren't quite as many mattes, and when I find a good matte, I like to share it. A lot of them can kind of dry down and make you look kind of dry and crinkly. This one doesn't. It's really pretty, it's really flattering for all ages. Now, I just talked about using an eyeshadow primer on this eye before applying this Lottie London Color Cloud. The eyeshadow primer that I applied is $4 from Essence. This is the Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base. This might just be new to me, but I'm so glad I discovered it because it's non-drying. It's got kind of a lotiony texture that spreads out so easily. So you might want to check this out if you have dry or mature eyelids. Now, it's white when you first squeeze it out of the tube, and it doesn't really color correct or anything like that. It's to provide a smooth base for your eyeshadow to apply easier and to last longer throughout the day. It's supposed to be waterproof. I haven't tested that claim, but it's also supposed to be long lasting and crease proof, which I have tested, and both of those are true from my experience. It has shea butter, and I think that that kind of goes along with why it feels so nice and hydrating when you first apply it. And once it sets down, it sets down. I can feel that it's set. It doesn't feel sticky. Now, you can set it with powder after if you want to prevent mascara smudging or anything like that even further, but I've had great luck with this. And if you have more mature lids and don't have luck with a lot of eyeshadow primers that seem a little bit drying, you might want to check this one out. Have you tried any of these? And if you have, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Let me know down below. And do you have any drugstore suggestions for me to try? I love testing drugstore makeup and love getting your suggestions. That's how I discover a lot of the new products that I end up loving. I hope you found this video helpful and enjoyable. If you did, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoy everyday beauty made easy. That's what my channel is all about. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.